happened a week and a half ago, I think, that Pinterest introduced more automatic attribution changes, and we both wrote about this. So the new ones we have are Etsy, 500 Picks, Kickstarter, interesting one, SlideShare, and SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm. So that's the whole gamut. That's commerce communities, video, audio, and visual.
I thought the Etsy one was the biggest one because I wrote a big piece. I spent some time, and the piece wasn't that long, but I thought it was interesting that Etsy was the only really e-commerce platform that now had automatic attribution. And I thought that was a pretty big deal because, it would link back even in the stream to people's Etsy stores. So I thought it would generate a lot of traffic. And I haven't followed up on that and talked to anybody kind of a week and a half out to see how it's going. But honestly, I have seen very few pins from these 5 sources in the last week and a half. I've seen probably a dozen Etsy ones, but I haven't seen anything for Kickstarter, SlideShare, SoundCloud, 500 Picks. But that might be like who I follow. I follow kind of a more general consumer audience. Maybe there's some specialty groups that are really using this. Have you seen any?
I follow Etsy a lot too. I mean, when I'm not writing about Pinterest, I'm often writing about Etsy. So every single day, actually, I spend some time in the Etsy forums just to see what people are talking about. And Etsy users, like most forum users, love to complain. Mm-hmm. But Pinterest is not the subject of those complaints. People say they get plenty of traffic from Pinterest.
So they're pretty happy with it. Has anybody talked about increased traffic?
Nobody's talked about increased traffic, but every week or so, there'll be a new forum post like, hey, let's repin each other's work. And everyone will post their shop and be like, pin something for mine. And they'll have a pin exchange because they think the publicity is good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really impressed with like Etsy and Pinterest's combination. It does seem like it works really well together. I do think long term, and we've talked about this before, I think maybe the last time they did this attribution, or maybe on another topic, but the fact that they're adding all these attributions, one, probably protects them from like copyright issues, potentially. It gives them at least like we're trying, and two, I mean, something like this could be used across the web. It's possible something like this there could be tags done and that other people could adopt it too. And when I talked to Ben, the CEO of Pinterest, way back in February, this is one of the things he talked about is he wanted to get attribution right, but he wanted to use tags that could be used across the web. And now it's set up now, all these attributions are just being used in Pinterest, but I just wonder if it's possible that they would be establishing some sort of, like this might actually be used on other sites. Other people could adopt it to make sure people are getting credit. What do you think of that?
I'm not sure. I mean, what other sites are similar to Pinterest?
Well, I mean, let's say you share Flickr, you could share Flickr images and blogs, and the attribution would automatically show up if they, allow that in their Creative Commons license.
I have noticed that actually. I was on Google image search and I right-clicked and saved an image that I was just using while I was testing a plugin on WordPress actually, and the title of it became the attribution.
I think it's great, the attribution they're doing. It seems like they're covering a variety of different areas, and even if tons of people aren't going to pin, sound onto, audio onto Pinterest, I still think it's cool that they're getting this technology for a lot of different formats, and it's possible eventually they might make it so lots of different sites could do it. I don't know. They'll probably keep going incrementally like this.
Yeah, the reason I brought up that the picture I right-clicked from Google is just that I think maybe what Ben meant by tags is they're tags that we don't really see, but they're just packages of data that are just stored with each of these objects.
I mean, it's certainly possible. I mean, you could either opt in on the site level, which makes it a little bit more comprehensive, or you can just include kind of like background metadata that goes with the copy. I mean, either one's possible.